Thanks for joining us. Today on episode 4, we are going to talk about how we trade in our tool belts for belt buckles. We're going to talk about the relationship between construction and farming and how those similarities in our lives have crossed paths quite a bit. We have a farm that's been in our family over 100 years, and there's a lot of correlation between the construction world and the farming world. We're going to dig into it today.
There's been a burning question that I've had for years, and it's been met more and more now that we own some cows ourselves. When is it that you actually earn the right to wear your own cowboy hat in public? Want to know, is it the number of cows you own? Is 11 enough? Do you have to own land? Do you have to get kicked in the boys and stand up straight afterwards? What is it that you are able to make it? And then maybe we should even answer some of the other questions, like, do you wear white after Labor Day?
Right.
What else?
When is it felt? When is it straw?
Yeah. How does it get shaped? What's the form?
Love it. Well, stay tuned. We're going to dig into that on this episode.
So we're going to get, instead of concrete on our work boots, we're going to get stuff on our cowboy boots.
So that's probably not mud on your shoes, is it?
No, it's not. Probably not.
So let's dig in a little bit on the correlation between construction and farming.
Sure. Yeah. It's interesting. I know growing up in construction world, obviously, and like you mentioned, having the farm in our family, there was a lot of correlation. A lot of our employees back in the day, particularly like superintendents and foremen that came in the field, started out on farms. They were born on farms, and maybe there was a bigger family that they didn't want to compete with brother or sister on the farm, and so they wanted, what's next? What's the next option for me? And they got into construction. They had great work ethic on the farm. They got up early. A lot of our job sites start before 7 o'clock. They worked with their hands. They knew how to fix things. That's a lot of what our guys do in construction. And so a lot of key superintendents and foremen and carpenters came from the farm world originally. Maybe they'd go to a tech school and polish up those skills, but a lot of them came right from the field.
Yeah, I think one of the things I recall growing up was our uncle, who still lives on the farm place today. And if he had a piece of equipment that broke down, he can't afford to wait a couple days for someone to come out and fix it. So you kind of have to be inherently handy, and you get your hands dirty, you figure out what the problem is, and you can make it work so you can keep moving.
I think one of the things that's probably changed that the most is the computer. You can't just work on equipment anymore, knowing how a carburetor works or how to change a spark plug. You have to plug a computer in, and that tells you what's wrong with the machine. And those computers aren't cheap either, and so they've really taken that element out. And so we've not seen that flow from the farm to the construction site. I guess they're probably going to learn IT now. I don't know.
Well, I think a big part of it, like we touched on a little, is just work ethic. A lot of times with some of these farmers and ranchers, there's really no days off. If you've got livestock that's depending on you to feed them, you've got to contend with the weather and the crops, you really can't just say, I don't feel like it today.
And construction is a lot that same way too. We have schedules and deadlines we have to meet, and we have to fight the elements just the same. When it rains, we still have to go out and make sure that the job site's moving forward. So I think there's a lot of correlation in these industries. The work ethic is truly a part of it. But why is it important to you and I?
It's a great question.
So as you mentioned, our uncle who owns the family farm that's been in our family for a while, he is 78 years old, and there is no kids of his own out there. And so what's next for the family farm? How does that play? And I have a 15-year-old son, and he has shown very big interest in taking over the farm. I think I got lucky 16, 17, going on 18 years ago when I moved out to Harrisburg, not even thinking about school district at that time without having any kids. And lo and behold, they have an FFA program. And so he's been enrolled in that in Harrisburg and has loved every minute of that. And he just spent the entire summer out at the farm working. And so, as you mentioned, we have some cows now. A year and a half ago, we bought 7, and now we have 4 more calves that came from those 7, so we're up to 11 total. They just got home. We took them to the neighbors about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, to spend some time on vacation at the neighbors with a bull lounging around. That's a whole interesting process that's very different from construction. We don't encourage that stuff on construction sites. But we just brought him back from that. Hopefully we could have 7 more next year.
Awesome. I hope so. Yeah, I'm proud of Nathan for being interested in that and keeping the tradition of our family place going. Like you mentioned, our uncle was never married or had kids, so he really didn't have, per se, a succession plan in place. But I know that one of his goals was that someone would be interested and it would stay in the family.
Yeah, so I mean, I could tell you some stories about growing up there and how we've learned a lot from being on the farm. It's an hour away from any medical facility, and even the one you're the closest to, probably they're just going to put you in an ambulance that gets you faster to the next one because it's the next one you probably need to get to. So dangerous lifestyle, dangerous work, and not the amenities that we have usually in town or in the job sites that we have today. And OSHA doesn't really visit farms, I don't believe. I think they're kind of exempt from that. And so the restrictions for what you have to do for safety don't really apply on the farm.
So one of the things I recall growing up was, and it's kind of a West River thing, really. I mean, it's all over, but branding your cattle. In case they get out, you can identify what's yours from the neighbors. East River, I feel there's a lot more dairy farms, but it's not as prevalent as you see out west. We would always brand on Memorial Day weekend. It was a big event, get the neighbors involved and have a big dinner afterwards. So with your cattle you have now, tell me a little bit about the branding process or how you carry forward the tradition.
Sure. Yeah. I would love to tell that story. It's a great one. So like you mentioned, in the past, it was you and I, we'd wrestle them. A horse would go in, a guy on a horse would rope a calf by the back legs, drag it out. 2 guys would jump on it. There'd be a hot iron going, and somebody would be putting an iron on the cow, branding it. There'd be somebody putting a band on it to castrate it. There'd be 4 or 5 shots going in, ear tagging it if they need to. I mean, it was an orchestra of people that just knew what to do and how to do it. And amazing to watch how nobody got hurt. I mean, you're dealing in the wild, you're in mud and dirt and so when other stuff, that's on your boots. It's evolved quite a bit. As we saw a couple of years ago, there's now like a calf trailer that comes out, a branding trailer that actually eliminates the function of about 10 of those people. The trailer captures the calf, locks them in, rolls them on their side, and really 2 or 3 people can do all the work that used to take 12. So that's sped up the process, but does get rid of the community, so to speak, of getting people from the neighbors to help out and everybody kind of pulling together. You can do it with a lot fewer people, but it does make it safer, does speed up the process, make it go faster. So just this past year on Memorial Day weekend, our daughter is a senior this year, wanted her senior pictures done out at the farm. And so we brought our photographer out, who just so happens to be the daughter of the pastor at our church. And so we invited their whole family out to the farm to take senior pictures. And since we had additional help, we thought we would brand the 4 calves that we had. So we started out the morning with a photo shoot of our daughter, and we found out that one of our uncle's cows that he still had, he only had 2 cows left. One was stuck underneath a tree in a creek bed. And so my son, myself, and the pastor's husband, we went to fish the calf out of the water, which involved a tractor and some chains. And it was a pretty traumatic experience for those who aren't used to the farm life. It wasn't an easy, the cow was alive. We were able to pull it out, but it just wasn't an easy process. We were getting dirty and really learning, okay, this is hard life. So after all that excitement, we decided we were still going to brand these 4 small cows. And so we moved them into a pasture. And the funny part of the story of that is as we were moving them into the pasture where we normally brand, our uncle said, hey, remember a couple of years ago, I found a well in this pasture. And we're like, what? He's like, yeah, there was a 20-foot concrete well that has been here for longer than I have. He said, I've been here 78 years and I never knew it was there. He said it was the craziest thing. Our grandpa never told him about it. He said, don't worry, I filled it all in. I packed it full of dirt. We're good to go. As we got the 4 calves into the pasture, one of our kids was standing around and said, "Hey, Dad, the calf is disappearing." And I quickly looked over, and half of the calf was sticking out of the ground. And I watched as the top half of it slid down into the well. Again, it's almost 20-foot drop, and we could hear it slide all the way down. As we got over the immediate shock of what do we do next, we went over, looked down this hole, and mind you, they're black calves in a black, dark hole. Very hard to make out what was going on down there. Fortunately, my son had brought a rope just in case we wanted to rope something up, or he was going to practice his roping. Told him to go grab his rope, and we fished the rope down, and I felt the rope grab onto something. I didn't know if I had the nose of the cow or what I had, but he said, "No, you have it around the head." So 4 of us, myself, my uncle, my son, and my daughter, we started pulling, and just barehanded, grabbing this rope, pulling as much as we could. It was muddy, it was dirty, and we got to the point where the calf's head came up out of the well, and I looked over, and our pastor's husband was kind of standing there and all watching, and I'm like, "Hey, Matt, think you could help? We're kind of out of breath here." And he's like, "Oh, sure." So he came running over, grabbed the leg, and we pulled this calf out. Still don't know how that worked. Don't know how we were able to save that calf. He got up and ran around like nothing had happened. All in all, he was in there for, maybe 3-4 minutes. We shook the mud off of the calf, and 20 minutes later we branded it, which is a whole nother story of some of those were gotten pretty big. We have 1 bull calf. The other 3 were heifers. And my son wanted to try wrestling one. I think he was trying to maybe show off a little bit to the pastor's daughter. And he had a hold of the back leg as we were laying down on it, and it kicked and let go, and it caught his hat. At first I thought he got kicked in the face, but his hat went flying. And so I rushed over to him and looked, and he had a little bit of a line on his eye, but it was mud. And it just nicked him. And so we ran him through the chute the rest of the day because we just didn't want to deal with those kinds of dangers. So all in all, it was a crazy experience. Now this is like literally 3 hours worth of cowboy work. And I looked at my son and said, "Are you really sure you want to do this for a living?" And he said, "I sure do. Like, this is exactly what I want to do." So yeah, it's a crazy world. It is amazing what happens on farms and how they put up with immediate things, how quickly things can go wrong, and how you just got to adjust and make quick decisions to make sure animals are surviving and thriving, and that you overcome obstacles that pop up in your way that you can't control.
Yeah. I think back to some of those times, 100 years ago, they probably lit a fire and they heated up the irons in a fire. When we were younger, I know they would have a propane-fueled stove, heat the irons in the stove, and now I guess they have an electric branding gun. You just plug in, it heats up, and brand them that way without the need for the fire. I always called it organized chaos. I think with, say, a dozen helpers, I think we did like 200 calves in like 4 hours. And to think, well, we just have 4 to do, this should be a piece of cake.
You would have thought it would have been a lot easier, but I don't know if our pastor's family will come out and visit again. I hope they do. And maybe that had something to do with why it went, why we were able to pull out of it, because maybe she was saying some additional prayers for us. Whatever, we'll take it. It seemed to do the trick.
So based on your first branding experience as a cattle owner, I would have to say it seems to me like you've earned the right to wear the hat, but maybe we need to dig into this a little further.
I think we should talk to a professional. I've got a friend, Pat, who owns Haegle's West. Let's go talk to him and see what he says, if there's really rules behind that.
Sounds good.
How many cattle does Brian have now anyways?
Well, I think he's got 11.
11? Why 11?
He feels like that's the magic number.
For what?
He feels like he's ready for the hat.
You know he's not a real cowboy, right?
Well, that's why I got the clipboard.
Howdy, gentlemen. Are we ready to get this started?
Good evening.
You already passed the first test. You backed your farm truck right into this spot.
Nice.
So test 2. the rope.
I think I got just the test for that. Too close. Not bad.
So you pass or fail?
You know none of this really matters, right?
All right, last test.
All right, let's go.
See how it goes.
Oh, concrete.
Done this a million times.
That was easy.
Guess I had to pass. All right, let's go get you outfitted.
All right, let's go.
Thank you, sir.
So, do I get the hat now?
Let's go take a look.
So what do you think? Is this the hat?
I mean, it looks good, but honestly, I'd keep this one close.
All right. So we're here at Haegle's West on 41st Street with the owner, Pat Jackson. Pat, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, would you mind telling us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about the history of this wonderful store?
Sure. I was born and raised in Sioux Falls. Haegle's is a fifth-generation business. It was started by my great-great-grandfather in 1910. So we are actually in our 116th year of business now.
Wow.
So, yeah. I have three boys who are the sixth generation. A couple of them may have come down here a little bit here and there. But yeah, it's a pretty cool story that six generations going strong.
Absolutely. That's impressive. As a family business, we can relate to that and know how difficult that can be making that transition, especially through that many generations.
Sure.
How long has the store been located on 41st Street?
Early 70s it came out here. Originally it was located downtown on Main Avenue, and then for a while on Phillips Avenue.
Sure.
1970, early 70s with the urban renewal.
Sure.
We opened up a second location out here, and then shortly thereafter, I think the store downtown closed.
So 41st and Kiwanis, I imagine early 70s, this was the end of town.
My dad came out here to work at this store when we had two locations, and Kiwanis was pasture to the west. There was nothing past here.
So when someone walks into Haegle's West, what can they expect? What do they find in here?
In the Western industry, service still means a lot, which is something we pride ourselves in. So we have gear for both the horse and the rider, hats, boots, jeans, shirts, spurs, saddles, cowhide rugs. I mean, we got a little bit of everything. So
I have to ask the obvious question. You're in Sioux Falls, urban capital of South Dakota, and you're a Western store.
yes.
Who is your customer base? Who do you sell to? How do you make that work in the middle of Sioux Falls?
We pull from about a 100-mile radius. Customers from Iowa, Nebraska, Southwest Minnesota, obviously Southeast South Dakota. We sell to Cowboys. We sell to...
Wannabe Cowboys?
Well, we'll see how the test turns out, what the scores look like. But yeah, we sell a little bit of everybody. Country's in right now. The concerts that are in town help business tremendously. The rodeos, I mean, there's a lot of Western events. So we don't sell, if we just sold to just Cowboys, we'd be in trouble. So,
Well, I know as Sioux Falls has grown, it seems like they've leaned even more into the agricultural, rural population. And I know that there's a lot of TV series and stuff that promote it. So I imagine there's kind of a popularity spike in that, which got to be good for business.
yeah, it sort of flows through, you know, we feel that direct effect from, you know, as you say, the TV shows, the Yellowstones, people coming in wanting Rip's jacket or, I don't know, they want the outfit. They want to play the part, look the part.
Sure, absolutely.
Well, Pat, maybe we can grab a chair. I've got a lot of questions for you.
Sure, let's do it.
So, Pat, thanks for having us here. Obviously, great store. Brian and I have a couple questions for you.
Sure.
Let's start with the hats.
All right.
So you've got straw, you've got felt. Can you walk us through the process of what the differences are in hat materials?
Sure. You know, the basic hats are 100% wool. That's the lowest quality, if you will, hat. As you work your way up, we sell hats like that for $70-$80 that are all 100% wool. As they go up in X's, and that's how they determine, they're all marked with an X, and we have from 3X up to 100X hat. The quality of the felt gets better. It goes from wool, then there's a little hair in there, rabbit, and then there's some beaver, and then there's mink, there's chinchilla. So that's the difference. And, really the quality, you can feel the difference in the hat, just the texture, the wool hat. I mean, you can get a nice wool hat. We sell a lot of them. But then you feel, you're like, oh, you think that one feels good. Feel this one, you're up a couple $100, $200-$300, and then you bring them up to the next level and you think, well, you think that hat is nice, give this one a feel. And then it's just the difference, the material that is put in there. I think that the high end one for a lot of companies is beaver belly. It's only the fur from the beaver belly that they spin to form the hat bodies.
Wow.
So pretty interesting.
Yeah. How about shape?
I see like sides curled up, front tip down, how the bends are in the top of the hat. Some hats are tall. Does that mean something, or why do you see all the different shapes?
There's a lot of personal preference there. Most of it's personal preference. Fads, professional athletes, everybody comes in now and asks for the JB brim, JB crown. That's after JB Mooney, how he did his hat. And it's all over social media and TikTok. I want the JB, and a lot of these people don't know what that is. They've heard it and seen it on TikTok of somebody shaping a hat, and they want this brim. But
Like the Jordans of cowboy hats.
basically, yeah. And as far as the side, some of the old boys, they like the sides up a little bit higher, taller crown. But Western, it seems like everything's cyclical. The retro's in right now. We have a lot of stuff from Wrangler, these brush poppers. It's like the old, you set them down and the shirt would like stand up. They're that, rigid.
Yeah.
And so it's what was in 20 years ago is coming back in again. And that's the tall crowns and just different shapes. So there's no rhyme or reason to shape. It's just a lot of personal preference. So.
And you do that shaping here?
Absolutely. We do.
So how about colors? I know there's lots of different colors. I mean, straw is generally white or kind of an off-white color.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, the number one color of hat, when I think cowboy hat, I think Stetson. Just a black Stetson. It's like Tony Lama boots, or it's the name that's been around forever. But we carry the felt hats in whites, blacks, pecans, steel gray. The sky's the limit. They come in all kinds of colors. And even the fashion hats now that I don't know if there's any around here or not. The rodeo gals, blues, purples, mustard. I guess we got some men's now. They're camel, mustard, moss, rust. So
you don't need just one hat. You need one for every
day
outfit you're going to wear.
Every day, every outfit. So you can never have too many hats and boots. And I'm here to help you guys get one for every day. So.
And are there rules on when you can wear a certain style of hat?
It's sort of that unwritten rule for straws, Memorial Day to Labor Day. But I can tell you if it's 100 degrees out in late October, which we all know it's South Dakota, so it could be freezing in the morning and 100 in the afternoon, people are going to wear their straw hats to stay cool.
You don't want a beaver pelt on your head at 100 degrees?
Not my cup of tea, but somebody might. So no, and we get a lot of traditional guys. They wear long sleeves. It doesn't matter if it's 100 degrees out, long sleeves, and their felt hat, black felt hat,
all day long,
all year long. So
I gotta ask the real question: when can somebody wear a cowboy hat?
It's if you can pull it off, rock it. I don't know. Like myself, wearing a hat, I think I sort of look goofy. But you can wear it any time. A lot of pleasure. The work hats, guys wear them for work all the time. But if you can wear it, pull it off, and I'd say go for it.
Sure. Right.
So do you know much about the history? I know with the tradition of the farmers and ranchers, it was obviously to protect them from the sun.
Yep.
Was there a purpose behind just the style?
I think a lot of it was the sun protection, the weather, the elements, which goes back to, you know, the quality of the hats too. You get caught in a rainstorm and you have a wool hat, it's going to look like a wet dog at the end of the day. And these better quality hats hold up a lot better. But it's, you know, out in the elements, you know, the sun protection from the rain, the sleet, the snow. I mean, they're wearing cowboy hats 24/7 out East River, West River, you know, both sides of the state.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you gave us a little info on the materials that go into them. How does that affect the pricing?
it's just exponentially goes up, like I say, with the different qualities. Sort of a cool thing, as I talked about the X's earlier, it used to be $10 per X. So a 10X hat would be $100, and so on. As your 20X hat would be $200. In the U.S., it's turned into a numbers game. So these companies can stamp whatever they want inside their hats and market a 7X, 10X without meeting any quality standards.
Yeah.
From what I understand, Canada still has certain benchmarks where to be marked a 20X hat per se, it's got to have such percentage of certain furs in it. So, yeah, I mean, you think about it, it takes a lot of beavers to make a hat compared to a wool and a sheep or whatever.
Right.
And
So there's no ANSI standard on the hat material, or
not like your old trusty hard hat back here. So,
can you talk a little bit, you know, from the construction world? We saw when COVID hit, you know, material prices went through the roof and stuff was hard to get. Have you seen that impact primarily on hats, but also in the other things that you sell?
we have hats is probably one of the last products we've had where we've still had issues getting products. Our American hats, I ordered in February of 22, and we just received last week.
Wow.
So over 2.5 years. The order before that was right at 3 years. And we have a lot of them. So if you need a hat, come find us. We'll take care of you. But yeah, prices have increased. Tariffs now is playing a big deal in it. You know, some of our leather goods, most of our boots are all American made, but some of the wallets and belts are import out India, and now tariffs are affecting that big.
Sure.
We just got informed, but yeah, everything's gone up price. You know, you think about it 10, 15, 20 years ago to now, it's substantially higher.
I know you mentioned earlier your boys have an interest in the store. They spend some time here. What do you see in them that makes you proud when they come down here?
It's cool to see the work ethic. I mean, I grew up obviously in the store. It was my mom's family, their side of the store, and my dad worked here. He's been here now he's retired. Needs to get out of the house away from my mom every once in a while, so he's down here.
We know that all too well, yeah.
Oh, that works. So he's down here a lot, helps out. He still knows, I mean, he's great asset to the store. He's been here forever. May not be up to date with all the lines and knowing all the new products, but I mean, he can talk to anybody. He can tell you anything about most of the, you know, what we have, because we've had it forever. And just seeing the boys, I have a 7-year-old. They all like coming down here. Tommy, my 7-year-old, he's got a list of to-do list when he comes down here. He has some he likes to do, some not. Straighten the boots out, opening up shirts, marking stuff. We have a customer who has bought in from all 6 generations in the store. And last Black Friday, last year, Tommy and my father rung this guy up, helped him sell a pair of boots. And this customer had been, I'm guessing, one of the only customers to buy from all 6 generations.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
You don't hear those.
It's cool to have them come down here. They started school on Monday, and on Tommy's little placard that he holds, when you get older, what do you want to do? And his said, work at Haegle's.
Awesome.
So
that's great.
hopefully he saves up and buy the business from me someday, just like I bought from my parents. So,
Are you paying him when he comes down to work, or is this volunteer?
he is getting paid. Yes. Yeah. You know, sometimes it's like, well, do you want dinner tonight? But no, he likes it. He's, you know, we're still working out wage negotiations because what they think they deserve versus reality.
Yep.
So there's that. Yeah,
We have the same conversation at our house too.
let's say, well, you sort of were on my phone the last 45 minutes. But Dad, I was at the store. Like, if you needed me, I was there. I mean, you should be paying me. I'm like, it doesn't work for the other employees, so you need to follow suit too.
Absolutely.
So, no, it's good having them down here. It's just 6 generations strong. So keep that going.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
So do you guys do anything if somebody came in and said, I want Minnesota Vikings boots? Can you order custom colored?
To an extent, again, during COVID, a lot of that customization was killed in the boot market. Tony Lama, Justin Brands, you could take any boot, any color. You'd take the catalog. I want this color foot, this color upper, this sole. It's 3 to 4 months, extra 20% charge. Excuse me. That has disappeared, and they keep saying it's going to come back, but it's been gone 5 years now, and they're not going to bring it back. You know, brands died during COVID, tough times. There are boot makers who will customize, and there's a guy up in Schumacher's, Woolly, South Dakota, makes custom boots. I think they start off at like $1,500, $2,000. But
You don't want to get those dirty.
if you need Viking boots, he's your man.
The number one thing you sell here, what's the thing that flies off the shelves the fastest?
Apparel, clothing, jeans, shirts is as you can see, it's the most of our floor plan.
Yep.
Boots is close second. We carry close to 4,500 pair of boots, men's, women's, children. So yeah,
I gotta say, it has just an authentic smell in here that it never gets old. You just walk in, you can tell right away where you're at.
we lose it just because I'm here every day and I've been coming here for 45 years. But there's still customers that come in and
It smells-
they like that leather smell, and I mean, my wife says she can smell it on our clothes when we come home, the boys and I come home. But it's got that leathery smell. I mean, leather's cool. It doesn't go out of style. It just keeps going.
I remember coming in here as a kid, and it still has that same feel. I mean, it's still a great looking store, but it still has that same feel that I remember from
Back in the day.
35, 40 years ago. How do you maintain that in a world that keeps changing? How do you maintain that authenticity and that tradition that has been here forever?
I think what it comes down to, a big part of it is customer service. We've outfit the customer, help them from start to finish, whether they know what they're looking for or they're green as could be, never worn a cowboy hat. But the customer aspect, and I think I touched on this earlier, in the Western industry, customer service still goes a long ways. And that's something, being a small mom and pop shop, that I feel differentiates us from some of the other businesses, is offering that customer service, that more personalized service that some of the other businesses can't offer.
So Pat, thank you very much for letting us take over your store.
Absolutely.
Putting together
Coming out.
a fake test that makes me a fake cowboy. I appreciate that. We really just do appreciate all that you do for our community, all that you've been a part of for the last 100+ years. It's great to see that tradition continue on.
Yeah.
So if you want to learn more about Haegle's West, click on the link below. And if you want to know more about Jan's Corporation, what we're doing too, there's another link too in the comments as well.
So if there's a cowboy in your life or wannabe cowboy, feel free to share it with them. And again, we thank you for watching. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode.